The Premier League is officially returned this weekend. I think it's the perfect time after seeing a few games to predict the Premier League table how it's going to look like this year. At 20th, I've got Burnley. I've got Burnley last because I don't think they've taken the jump of quality needed for a team who's got up the Premier League. Obviously, a big part of that team last year was the defense. I think they got like the best defensive record ever in the Championship last year, maybe something around that. But now they lost Sam Trafford to Man City, lost Ian Rowley to Marseille, two very important pieces of their defense. I don't think they're going to be able to replicate the same type of offensive performance in Premier League. I mean, we've seen them play against Spurs. I don't think they were anywhere near as good as a Premier League side should be. So I'm really down on them being able to compete this year. I really feel like they're going to finish 20th. I think that's the most probable team. I haven't seen Leeds play, but I don't think Burnley is going to be able to compete against any of those teams. And I don't think that they've brought in the players they should have in terms of competing. Already Kyle Walker, but I don't think it's near good enough to make an impact in a team like this, especially right back. So I don't think we're going to see much of this Burnley team this year. I think 20th or 19th or their ceiling for this year. I think it's going to be it. 19th is going to be Leeds. Again, I feel like Leeds in kind of a very similar position to what Burnley is right now. I don't think they are as good as they should have been in terms of being side to promote the Championship in the Premier League right now. I think they made some more signings than what Burnley did. I feel like the squad overall is a bit better than them, but I don't think they got a chance to even stay up in Premier League. I feel like, obviously, I haven't seen them play together a game against Everton today, but I don't really see them doing very well this year. 18th, I got Wolves. I think that's very surprising having Wolves being relegated. I'm very 50-50 with Wolves because Wolves had last year towards the Premier League season in May and April, so their player come in and change this Wolves team. We saw them get a lot of points towards the end of the games on the Premier League, and I think they came with momentum in this season. But obviously losing Matheus Cunha, which is the best player, it was very big, and not really probably replacing him also very damaging for them. Also losing Ait Nordi was not that big of a miss because it's a left back, but still a missing player. They're going to lose. Also losing Nelson Semedo. I just don't see them at the time of quality to compete against teams who probably be a bit out of them. I really think they can very much compete because last year kind of saw those bottom three teams just like be very bad. Didn't really see a race between like 18th, 17th. This year, I don't think we can see that. I feel like Wolves can relegate like maybe 1 or 2 points. I would say can get very close. I feel like between 18th and 15th can be very interchangeable throughout the whole year. I feel like Wolves is going to just get short out of the stick. I don't think they can be that good this year compared to what they did towards the end of last year. And 17th, I got Brentford. Again, not a surprising team. It's going to go down a lot, especially even more than Wolves. Again, they're probably going to lose Uwisa this summer. They lost Mbiomo. They lost Norgard. I think they lost way too much quality, especially losing Thomas Frank, who was the manager who built so much for the team. It has just way too much impact done this summer to see Brentford actually do a good campaign this year. Obviously, the manager, I'm not really convinced by the manager. I think he might be the first manager or one of the first managers to also leave their posts. I'm looking at their squad, looking at all they played against Nottingham Forest. They lost 3-1, very big loss Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest is good, but Brentford should be a team that's able to compete against Nottingham Forest. I don't think we really saw much from that. They got a penalty, and that was really their biggest opportunity the whole game. I don't think they have the quality enough to go again and sit like the 8th to 12th zone there. I feel like 17th is good for them. I would feel like they're going to be in a very close relegation race with Wolves, and the teams are going to be 1 or 2 spots above them. At 16, I got West Ham. I think it can be a similar position last year. I feel like they're still not going to be a team to push for the mid-table. I think they lost Kudus this year, which obviously I don't think is really big of a miss, but obviously losing Kudus and not being able to properly replace them is already very, very tough. And I'm not sure if Graham Potter is a good enough coach for be able to guide West Ham in having a good season. I feel like Graham Potter, again, is in the running to be the first manager to be sacked this season. So I actually don't feel confident in this West Ham team in order for them to really do much more than what they've done last year. And then finish before them last year, like Tottenham and Man United. I felt they're way better than West Ham this season, and we're going to see a really bad West Ham season for me. At 15th, I got Everton. I think Everton will probably be a bit better than last year. They've done pretty well this summer. They brought in some good players for them, like Debussy Hall and Jack Grealish. I got 2 signings who can very sneakily improve them in a pretty big way. David Moyes, also a manager who had done kind of well with Everton last year when he also brought in 12th turnaround this season. I feel like I'm way more optimistic about Everton this year than what I'm feeling about West Ham or feeling about Brentford. So I feel like if the right pieces connect, I feel like they can get a strong season, maybe even better than 15th. But for now, I get them 15. I feel like that's a position maybe some Everton fans would probably be happy with. And 14th, I got Sunderland. I really thought Sunderland would be the surprising team of the season. They kind of had a similar approach to what Forest had a few years ago when they brought in a lot of new players when they were promoted and spending a lot more to a promoted team should have been spending. They brought in a mix of young players and experienced players. I really feel like that team right now feels really good. No, obviously I don't think they'll be able to make like a mid-table position or something anything of that matter. I feel like they'll still probably be closer to those 16, 15 kind of range of positions. But I'm very optimistic about Sunderland and how the team looks right now. The experience they also brought in is also pretty good for them, pretty key. Something that maybe a lot of promoted teams don't really have when they kind of try to compete Premier League. And also, I mean, this weekend, that win over West Ham I feel very big, and it kind of shows how good Sunderland can be this season. Again, I feel very optimistic about them. And looking at the teams above them, I really feel like if everything really clicks together, we can see them maybe even finish 13th or 12th if all things kind of click for them. So I'm feeling very optimistic about Sunderland this year. And I was growing up, I had the idea of them being kind of the traditional Premier League side. I really hope that Sunderland kind of becomes again a more established Premier League side, and you can go back to the old ways of seeing Sunderland play Premier League every single year. At 13th, I got Fulham. Fulham is a very kind of decent mid team, a team who hasn't got the worst, also hasn't got the better at the same time. Like it's kind of that dire team who's just there to be. I feel like they're a team that can lose points against small teams, also win points against big teams. I feel like 13th is a good spot for them. I don't see them improve from last year. I think teams around them have improved much better than what they've done this summer. They might lose to Muniz this summer, so I'm not feeling as optimistic as to Fulham. Also, I just seen a video of Charles Bassey running around playing like those kind of very low shorts. Just for that alone, having your center back play like that way as Charles Bassey has played, I just feel like just in that alone, Fulham should finish his 13th just because of that. Because that's a pure disgrace to football. I don't know Marco Silva is allowing that happen because that's just embarrassing. Like, to be playing with that low of a shorts, like, how do you not like uncomfortable with that? Like he's such a very strong player as well. Like, you imagine him like not having kind of those low shorts. I don't know, it's like a disgrace. Just purely of that, to not finish 13th. Purely. At 12th, I got Crystal Palace. I mean, I was really high on Crystal Palace before this season. And going to win the Shield, the same time win against Liverpool, I was really high on Crystal Palace, but I'm counting with both Eze and Gay leaving this summer. Eze is almost reportedly very much on the verge of leaving to Spurs, and Gay is a player that Crystal Palace has openly admitted to being open to selling because it's on the final of his contract. They don't want him to leave on a free, and they want him to sell this summer or next winter. So I really feel like if they lose both Eze and Gui, from a team who I really thought they may pursue a top 6 finish, I felt they can lose a lot of quality. And I still think Leicester will probably do a better work than I'm maybe predicting. But I got 12 is kind of a secure spot that Crystal Palace may end up in. Not a year of finishing 12 Crystal Palace again. They also ended 12 last year. I think again it's gonna be another year of just some middle table position. 11th, I got Brighton. They lost on Pedro, but they brought some good players. They're not going to worse. They're not better against something as Fulham. I think it's a bit more exciting team towards Fulham is right now. 11th, I feel like it's kind of low balling Brighton. I feel some of the teams around them or ahead of them can very much just kind of, if some injuries happen, I can very much see Brighton go from 11th to maybe 8th and 9th. It all depends a lot on what the teams around them are playing or predict them to play. So I think again 11th, they almost went into Europe last year. I think they finished 8th. So I don't know, but I think 11th is kind of a safe zone for Brighton to be come next year. At 10th, I got Bournemouth. Also, Bournemouth, again, kind of same position with Brighton is or Crystal Palace is. Since I against Liverpool as a pretty good sign, I think they kind of play pretty well considering how good Liverpool is. And I'm excited to see Semenyo have a full year with this type of attention offensively. I would like Semenyo. I like as many players against Liverpool. I feel like Semenyo is going to carry them to a lot of Premier League wins this year. Also, Iraola is still a pretty good manager. They lost a big part of their defense. I think they've also kind of I won't say they're going to have still same level of quality of players, but I still think they kind of brought in players who can at least make for some of the defensive prowess they've lost. So I think won't beat again. Then maybe 7th, 6th place finish. I think maybe 10th is good for them. At 9th, I got Aston Villa. I thought Aston Villa will probably be the disappointing team of the season. I just think like their squad, they didn't really do anything at all this summer. They only improved their squad one bit. I mean, again, I just don't think they're good at all. Better than last year. Obviously, back in European football, they might do more harm for them than good in terms of a Premier League position. I just don't see Aston Villa being very high on the table. Again, not taking the jump of quality or improving with some positions. I feel like it's going to kill them a lot this year. I don't think Unai Emery is going to be able to take them to the same type of season they had last year. I don't think they're going to be able to replicate it this year. At 8th, I got Man United. Again, to go from 15th to 8th is a very good jump for United, especially considering how dire and how bad they played last year. Even with Tom Ring at the helm, I really feel like, I mean, during preseason, I saw some clips of preseason Man United and some games there. I'm really optimistic about United going this season. I feel like they're playing way better than last year. Also, they're bringing to Cunha, Ryan Bjorn, Smith Seshko. I feel like that was really good. They're bringing like maybe one midfielder, one defender. I feel like it can be even better than what they are right now. But looking at them preseason, I was kind of optimistic about them. And looking at them play against Arsenal, I'm very confident that they're going to be way better than last year. Obviously, losing against Arsenal is still a bit sad, or maybe they kind of hope to get a draw lists. But the way they played, they played way better than Arsenal did last game. And I mean, if you told someone that United, the way they were playing last year, if coming to Arsenal in the first match of the week, and if you tell them that United was probably better than Arsenal and should probably win or at least take a draw from that game, a lot of people will be surprised. I think that's kind of signifies how much of a shot United has taken this summer. But Amorim has kind of taken the helm of this team and finally shaped them the way he wants them to be. So I'm excited to see how United will do this year. I feel like 8th is a very good zone for them to begin. They might push for a 7th, 6th place finish, but also considering United is, they might also finish as 9th and 10th. I really feel like an upper half table can very much happen to United. At 7th, I got Tottenham. Again, another team who's going to take a very good shot from last year, 17th to 7th, 10 places up from last year. Again, I don't think that 7th place position kind of reflected how good of the squad they had. I feel like even in terms of squad, they were way better than what United had last year. Even defenses like Comer Van de Ven, it's not a defense that you look at and think that's one of the worst defenses of the Premier League season, you know? And last year they were, because they lost Comer Van de Ven for so long of a time. Like, obviously, they might be more squad depth this year, so maybe injuries are not going to affect them as much as what they did last year. Also, having Thomas Franks as manager over Ange is a thing that's going to also help him a lot as well. So all that combining with also, if Eze comes in, also the Frank versatility of being able to deploy that 3-5-2 formation we saw against PSG, being able to deploy that formation to again better teams, and being able to still play a pretty high level, and now again being able to play with a 4-3 or 4-2-1 against like teams like Burnley, and still be able to perform so well offensively and play so well. I really high on Spurs doing so well this season. Thomas Frank, I feel like it's going to change the Spurs a lot. And the right signings, I mean, this will got like what 12 days until summer ends. I think bring Eze in, bring one more defender in. I think they got the potential and the quality to make such a great year for them. Also, again, ESL might ruin them a little bit for them because they got to rotate a bit more to the squad. Maybe like again, Europa League will be a bit better. Maybe really football can kind of kick them down a bit. But I think the second finish is very good. At 6, I got Forest. I definitely think Forest can replicate what we saw last year, this year. Also, lost underlying to Newcastle. Obviously, that's a big loss. They brought in Doe, they brought in Orsted, they brought in Jamaica T, they brought in Macalmuendo. There's so many good players that I don't really see them decreasing of quality like last year. And last year, to a so good of a team. This year, I think they got even better players around them. So Chris Wood can also again score a brace this year. So I'll talk about Chris Wood being once wanted last year. Now scoring a brace is amazing for them as well. Being able to again just be so good. Morgan Gibbs White, being able to keep Morgan Gibbs White also again amazing. Also leaving to Spurs, didn't leave, and again keeping him also going to be a very key piece to them doing so well this year. Maybe them going down from the Europa League to Conference League might actually be a blessing in disguise, because Conference League is a competition where they might be able to run with these with the backup team until maybe like the semi-final, quarter-final mark. So to be able to play in Europe throughout almost the entire campaign with being able to not having really the need of rotating a lot as maybe a team in the Europa League or Champions League would have to. So again, with all those factors combined, I feel like Forest can be a team who can very much just take that jump, and under Sprint Santo can definitely get top 6 European football and maybe get even higher than Newcastle United and Chelsea, who are in front of them. At 5th, I got Newcastle United. And I think Newcastle suffered a lot with losing Isaac. I thought that's only their weaknesses. Also, they brought in Jacob Ramsey from Aston Villa, I think it's a pretty good signing. Also brought in Malik Dion, because some squad depth I think is pretty good and pretty necessary as well. Also losing Isaac is going to be very big. They're putting Anthony Gordon striker. I don't know how long that experiment begin. I think Wisa will come this summer, so maybe Wisa can kind of again be the striker. Again, I just don't think they have the quality to be above the 4 teams that are going to be above them, like Chelsea and City. I don't think they got sort of quality. But again, another year finishing 5th for Newcastle. Again, USL football will probably be very important for them. And even if like they don't really go up one spot to what they did last year, I still think getting again 5th, considering how much the teams around them have improved, I feel like also again seeing all the play against like Chelsea, Liverpool, and City can also be a bit of a reflection of how they grew from last year to this year. So again, I feel like a 5th place finish is something that for Newcastle is still pretty good. It still can be seen as something improvements. And I think like next year we can probably see Newcastle and take that all buy-in mindsets and brought in some like star players that they didn't get to this summer. And we see them actually take that jump to become a more top 4 established team and maybe compete for the top 3, top 2. And 4th, I got Chelsea. And such a team is a team that last year, at the beginning of the season, I was not very high on. I didn't really comprehend all the hype around Chelsea, even though they had kind of that great momentum in the first beginning of the season. I don't think that lasted. I really didn't last. Also, because Cole Power didn't really play that well. And again, the first match of the season, they drew Crystal Palace 0-0. Not really surprising a game at all, but I still feel like Crystal Palace, with the quality they have, with the depth they have in all positions, I thought they're a team that can just, if things click together, it's more they can incorporate the signings they brought in into the squad. They can also make a run for the case of losing Cowboys this summer. I feel like they are a team that they can very much just finish with 4th, and honestly, they can very much kind of come close to 2nd and 3rd, and potentially, even if Cole Palmer is on a demon season right now, if that happens, they can also finish. They can also contend for that race. At 3rd, I got Man City. I like Man City from last year, next to this year. They got a massive champion quality. Obviously, losing KVP is going to be very big for them. Roboting Rangers, who has had an amazing debut for them. Roboting Ryan Shirky off the bench has already scored. We're going to see Allen's hopefully having another full year without no injuries, because I think like losing Rodri as well and losing Allen's is going to be very important for them, or very damageful and very bad for them. So to get Allen back for a few years will do wonders for them. Again, also losing Rodri, they still probably without Rodri for until like September, I'm pretty sure, as Pepe said. But Pepe now finally kind of figured out how to play without Rodri, which is why they were so bad in terms of like from September to like January. So what? Obviously, because figuring out how to play without your best player is a bit tough, especially if Rodri is a player who controls so much of the play of the game with the ball in his feet and without his feet as well. So being able to get Rodri back, even if 5 matches in the Premier League season, still being able to welcome back Rodri, I feel like we're going to see a much more compatible Man City side than we saw last year. Again, 3rd, but I feel like I can see like between City, Arsenal, Liverpool, we're going to very much see a very tight, a very close penalty at the race. Than last year was very disappointing. I think this year is going to pay for what we saw last year. City going to be the 3rd place team. I think they're going to be a very good team this year. My top 2 is Arsenal at 2nd, Liverpool at 1st. Now, why I think Liverpool will get the edge over Arsenal? Last year, when they won the Premier League title, I didn't see Liverpool as a team that, with the squad they have, will still be able to compete for the title or be able to win it this year, because I don't think they were that good enough. But now, obviously, bringing Sammy Frimpong, bringing Michel Cage, bringing in Florian Wirtz, bringing Asana Isaac, that's way too much firepower you have. Like, Musawa has just come back from one of the best seasons ever in Premier League history. You added that to Florian Wirtz, a guy who's so good. Obviously, he didn't have the best debut, but he's an amazing player. Also, probably going to add Isaac. If you don't add Isaac at the Ekitiki, it's like in debut, 1 goal, 1 assist. It looks so well in the debut. It's just so good for the team. Even if Arsenal has just that much of a complete squad, that all-around squad as well. There's so much quality on positions. I think Liverpool squad still actually a bit more. I think Arsenal also now has kind of the edge also over Arteta, because this is a year where pressure's on Arsenal. If Arsenal doesn't win a title this year, Arteta is gone. My opinion, should be gone if they don't win a title. This is the last year where Arteta has to perform, or a lot of them are going to be gone. So I feel it's going to be a year of pressure on Arsenal. Also, I think I want Gyökeres. Obviously, you're betting on Gyökeres to play well this season, because if he doesn't play well, your team takes a very major bump or hit from what should be your team this year and your title campaign. So again, I'm still very undecided between who will finish first. Liverpool or Arsenal. I think it can be a very close two-team race. Also finding out the squad depth that they should have been getting a lot of years now. So now the injuries won't be an excuse for them, because they have so much of a deep squad. Again, to be a very close title race. I actually think Liverpool, with that much individual talent they have in all positions, even if they don't bring in Isaac or not, I think that also Arne Slot being a Premier League winning manager, I think that combined just put them over the edge over City and Arsenal.